Hey, what's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast and No Limit Forever. You already know what it is, man. Tap into my episode on I Only Touch Greatness. It's going to be an explosive one. Salute.
Looking for the most beers on tap?
Great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.
Turn it up.
The #1 sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
Growing up in KC, what was childhood like for you growing up?
Well, you know, man, to be honest with you, dude, I had a great childhood. I grew up Kansas City, Missouri, 64130. I'm from the 4 block. I was raised by strong women, educated women, only child. I had a beautiful childhood, to be honest with you. Even though we were in the hood, my household was full of love and support. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't. By God's grace, I didn't have to deal with poverty and things like that as a kid, but more importantly, past, any material stuff, I had love. So I had a great childhood.
And being that this is a sports podcast, when Prince isn't joining me, did you play any sports growing up?
Man, I did. I was an avid basketball player. I actually played point guard. I ran track. I did gymnastics. I did martial arts. One thing that a lot of people don't know about me is that, I used to want to be a professional BMXer. Like, I loved BMX growing up.
Oh, you wanted to be a BMXer?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I can see that.
I had subscriptions to BMX Plus. I had subscriptions to freestyling. I had a Mongoose back in like 88. And my plan was to get sponsored by Mongoose. I'm like 10, 11 years old, already with this plan in my head. I wanted to get sponsored by Mongoose and then, start designing my own bikes. So that was really a love of mine growing up. Even in the hood, I was in the newspaper way back in the day for being one of the few black kids in the inner city that was into BMX.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
really?
You're obviously lifting. I see these pictures of you and these shirts and shit, and they're all like tight on you. There's nowhere to go. Like,
he really thought that you was gonna be on live, like usually you shirtless when you do your lives. So he thought that you was gonna be, shirtless, cooking egg whites, as usual.
Hey, listen, it's a lot of people, man. It's a method to that. To be honest with you, dude. Most of the shit that I do on live, I say all of it. I'm usually very intentional with what I do, man. I just be rolling up out of bed. I don't do this shit on purpose. If I roll up out of bed with a shirt on, that's how you gonna see me on live.
I mean, that's the thing. You're comfortable where you're at. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about being live. Like, even when I go live, even though I don't get that many followers or many views, well, I be going live on the wrong times and shit. I'll be on live when everybody's working, and I'll just be like, oh shit, I forget motherfuckers is over here working today and I just wanted to go live. So I understand that. I can believe that. So back in KC, you know what I mean? Like, coming from the 40s, you know what I mean? What you always represent, like from the 4 block, like, what type of song or type of CD? And I know what you're gonna say, you know what I mean? Because I know you're Ice-T, you know what I mean? Like, head. So what was one of the other songs, like albums that inspired you to do what you wanted to rap?
Well, showing my age, I'm older than what people think that I am, but Ice-T was the first gangster rap record that I heard, which was Squeeze the Trigger. NWA, Eazy-E. Eazy-E really inspired me a whole lot. That's because I was always artistic and creative. So I used to write my mother poems when I was young. And so kind of intrinsically, it transitioned into, you know, some type of form of written expression with rap. You know what I mean? So a lot of my early songs and raps that I was writing in school were in the cadence of Eazy-E. So, you know, my early influences was definitely Eazy-E, Ice-T, Ghetto Boys. Early on.
Right. Which is good though, because, you know, I love Eazy-E and I love Ice-T. And when I seen you, you know, doing that interview with Ice-T, like I was blown away more than anybody because I was amped. I was like, ah, shit, he was motherfucking the Iceman, like for real, like, you know. Coming from here, man, like a lot of people don't understand. Like in the Midwest, we love the fuck out of colors. Like we love the fuck out of hip hop. Like I be talking to like a lot of people on Clubhouse, and I be like, man, you gotta remember, like a lot of people. That's why like so many fucking songs and albums came out in Midwest, and a lot of people wanted to come to Midwest is because we used to have it. And it just blew my mind not too long ago that somebody just said the reason why one of the songs got broke over there in New York with Sugar Hill Gang was they took it to Midwest, which they said they took it to Kansas City and Missouri. And I was just like, wow, that's fucking crazy. So we always had this history, you know what I mean? Yeah. And coming out of here, man, like who was the first rapper, you know what I'm saying? Your first friend that made you want to you know, do rap.
You say it one more time to impart.
What type of, you know, who was the first rapper that you know, started, you know, writing rhymes with?
Oh, you mean as far as locally in Kansas City?
Yeah, in Kansas City, like the first person you know, saying
okay,
you just had an idea, you was just like, yo, you know what I mean? Let me go ahead and spit these, you know.
That's a funny question. So
good one.
My friend from my old block, his name was Hank, right? And for all intents and purposes, Hank was probably on the spectrum. You know, we didn't have the language back then of autism, or you know, you just had slow kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And every group, every neighborhood got one, right? And I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. I have a son with special needs on the spectrum, so I'm totally in the know of that, right?
Right.
So Hank, but he was very, very high functioning, right? So me and Hank, he used to go by the name Clownster Mac. Yeah, Clownster Mac was his name. So me and him, I actually started, like, we weren't a group, but we both started rapping. This is way back in the day. We would have one radio playing the instrumental and then be recording on the other radio. You know, we didn't know nothing about studios or 4-track recorders or nothing like that. So I would say Hank, man. Hank was the first one that I started experimenting with in terms of trying to record and figure out rap. We didn't understand song structure. We didn't understand chorus. We didn't understand none of that. We just knew we loved the culture and we wanted to emulate what we seen them doing. So I would say Hank. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started, because I used to be an A&R. So I always was in music. I was doing mixtapes back in the day, the same way you were saying there. You play it on one and you record it onto the other.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to like rewind the tape back and forth to cue it up, and you hold the pause button down until CD player just plays it at the right second.
Right.
I started doing that.
I was gonna say, God forbid you couldn't find a clean instrumental, because if you tried to get a space where in a song with a beat, you had to like loop it, but manually, you know, and try to catch it right at the beat so it wouldn't glitch. You know, these kids they wouldn't know nothing about that.
No, exactly. I always try to tell them about like even Napster and stuff, being able to find stuff like that back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, all kinds of stuff like that.
I remember people used to try to rap on a fucking sock and shit with a fucking little thing and shit. Like motherfuckers was trying to fucking rap. Period. Like
but when you're starting out, though, when you're starting out, everybody doesn't know, and you have to learn these things through practice. Gaining knowledge.
And knowledge, right?
Trial and error, and you got to think in that era. You got to think. So I'm 46. So in that era of the late 80s and the early 90s, you know, there was no internet. So, we didn't have access, especially in Kansas City. There's no industry. So it's not even the conversation of you can ask people, it's not, everybody's not going to a studio or trying to be a rapper and entertainer. It's not like now. So back then, where I hooked up with Cisco in 9th grade, who was the other part of CCG, he already kind of innately had this knowledge and kind of knew his way around electronics and shit like that. It was just something he was gifted with. So he understood sampler keyboards. He used to steal. A lot of people don't know, when we made our demo tapes, it was in my room, but it was equipment that Cisco would finesse and jack people for. He would literally rob people for their equipment because we needed mixers, the mics, the little recorders, all the little shit that he knew that we needed. He went out there and made that happen. He would finesse people, and it's people on Facebook. It's funny. Shout out to Lavander. He's a Facebook friend of mine, and Cisco got him for a keyboard when we was in 9th grade. And he left me a message, was like, "Hey, I never got my keyboard back. I'm glad to see that y'all put it to use and made something of yourself." But Cisco used to track everybody.
What age were you when you wanted to, or you knew that you wanted to start taking it serious?
I say probably, I played with it, 12, 13 years old, 14, but I went to jail at 15. So I say probably when I got out of jail is when I started so about 16, 17 is when I really started kind of leaning into it. Cause I got street poison, so that played a factor too. I got, I got street poison probably about 14, 15. So all in that little, but when I got out, I had to figure something out. But it was a passion though. It wasn't something like it was a quick hustle. It was actually a dream of mine.
Dream, right. And speaking of dreams, man, because you don't even know this, because my cousin Steve, and I think I told you this before, my cousin Steve is S to the B, which you used to do a lot of music with. That. Yeah. Science, my cousin. Science, my cousin. Wow. Yeah, Zion Brown is. So, like, coming over there, I remember used to always seeing stuff, right? Like, whenever they came down, like, because there's only twice, too many, like, maybe 3 times I might seen them at that time whenever I was a kid. Like, and I remember he had the CDs and stuff, and I think you might have came to Richmond one time with him. Like, at that generation of rapping, because it was a handful of rappers at that time, like especially in KC that really wanted to do it. Like, how was it just working with Steve and shit? You know what I mean? And how much impact in KC at that time for everybody to grow, because at that time it was hard, because like you said, it wasn't no studios, and when people did have a studio, a lot of people were trying to get in. So tell everybody about that.
Yeah, shout out to S to the B, man. That's my brother. To the point to where S to the B was a pallbearer at my mother's funeral. He actually, helped carry my mother to her final resting place. So that's how close me and S to the B are. So yeah, man, like back in the day, to contextualize, studios weren't like now. Studios were hella expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talking 90s. I started in the early 90s. And so once, I got to No Limit in 1995. Me and my group mate Cisco CCG, we signed a No Limit. Right. So after our little stint with No Limit, I start putting out independent records, which is where I came across S to the B. So I came across S to the B was already a street figure. He was already kind of known in the streets for getting money. So then him and shout out to Rodney Money Green.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, the OG. They had their little movement, because actually they had got Vel Bacardi. They had put Vel Bacardi out at that time.
No shit.
So, yeah. Vel Bacardi had went with I can't remember the record label, but shout out to Rodney Green. But S to the B was a part of that team. And so this is when me and Cisco split. And when I say split, I don't necessarily mean we broke up. But he moved away. He was doing life and taking care of his life. I still wanted to kind of pursue music. So that's when I went solo. So even though I did Pulling Rank, he produced all of Pulling Rank. But when he moved away, I was left to my own devices. So that's where you see the emergence of S to the B, because S to the B produced probably 60% of Kansas City Chief. And I recorded most of it at S to the B studio too. So that's where S to the B came to play. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. You just blew my mind, because I was just listening to Good Things, and I heard him rapping on it. I was like, you.
Yeah. S to the B produced, like I said, I might be lowballing it. He produced the majority of Kansas City Chief, but I want to say S to the B recorded all. I recorded all of Kansas City Chief with S to the B. Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, so I've been wondering who produced it, because we couldn't read that much. You had to have the CD, and it's been a long time since I had that Kansas City Chief CD. And matter of fact, it's crazy because Kansas City Chief, it was actually on a magazine too. Didn't you have like a magazine ad on there, like Source or Double XL or something?
I was in Double XL, Murder Dog. I was in oh my God, I can't even remember. I was in several magazines back then. That's what I be telling these internet trolls, man. I was somebody before social media. I was already somebody, So yeah, I was in several magazines back then. Yeah.
Speaking of those trolls.
Speaking of trolls, though, go ahead, bro. I'll let you do it.
No, you shoot it, bud.
Speaking of trolls, man, we know a lot of trolls because we have a lot of that in Kansas City, and I don't even know why. Because half of these motherfuckers don't really get hurt sometimes, but a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But trolls, man, and the huge troll of them all, and I was glad because remember I texted you and I was just like, this motherfucker's on Clubhouse. This dude on Clubhouse, Whack 100. Like a lot of people don't even understand, like, with that fucking troll shit, like that troll shit is some hurtful, dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like you can get hurt by that. And I think a lot of people think you need views to do that type of shit, which you don't have to. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that to be viral. Like, tell them a little bit about these trolls and these haters, man, because I got a good one for you with this Whack 100 one.
You know what? I haven't said this publicly yet, but I'll be honest with you. So, I'm new to this media space. I started my podcast, the Holdin Court Podcast, a year and a half ago, right? I had never uploaded a video to YouTube prior to that. I never even paid attention really to YouTube and media like that prior to the quarantine, right?
Right.
So, excuse me, of course, I had my well-documented riff with Whack 100, and that was only because of him coming at my brother, right?
At P, right.
At Mr. P. So I'm gonna say, through this year and a half that I've really been in this space and paying attention to not only Whack 100 but everybody, I'm a student of the game. I can say I feel differently about Whack than I did a year ago. Now I agree with you. Everybody, you don't have to do that. Trolling and being messy and all of that, right? You don't have to do that. If that's what you choose to do with your content, cool. I think what happens is when it's not a balance. And see, I try to provide balance with my platform and just with my brand and my approach. So don't like people when they ask me Holdin Court Podcast, I always tell them it's black excellence and nigga shit all into one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to have balance, right? As it pertains to Whack, bro, I can say this. I think that a lot of what he does is for clicks, is for views. I think it's for entertainment. I don't think that 99% of the stuff he says he necessarily means. I think that I have learned that, to be honest with you, I fuck with Cash Jones. Like I fuck with Cash.
Right.
The Whack motherfucker, not so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when he being a certain kind of way and he's being on his OG grown man shit, I fuck with dude. You know what I mean? But again, I think, a lot of his content is acrimonious, it's vitriolic, it's hateful,
Right.
it's pejorative.
Right.
And
sometimes it bites him in the ass too. And that's that just how me and him got into it, because it was about the Tupac situation, and a lot of people from the whole West Coast was going at him because of that. That's where it all started. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what he was doing. It was for clout. You know what I'm saying? It's building his name up and building up for LT Hunting, which LT Hunting already had it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's with Pac. He was with Pac. You know what I mean? So he was new, and I told him, I was like, hey, man, you got to look at it like this. It's not good for business, what you're saying. You know what I mean? Meaning that
you would have been smarter.
Meaning that if you're going to say this shit, you're going to remember you got to stick by this shit, because if you don't stick by this shit, I mean, a lot of deals are going to be, not on your table. And that's why I tried to tell him, and he called me a dummy. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to talk down on me. And look what happened to the Game album. The Game album beat him in the ass because, look, NBA Youngboy verse came off and Nipsey's verse came off, which truly, I mean, a lot of people going to be like, well, you can't get mad at it because at the end of the day, Game fucked with him. But at the end of the day, you bit him in the ass because of that,
And let me tell you what
he does.
I'm sorry not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, bro.
I think the problem with Wack, in my opinion, and people who do that, right? I think that, and I deal with this same issue kind of locally with local social media in Kansas City. What happens is when you plan and the other person ain't playing, or the other person isn't in on it, right? That's where it becomes a problem, because now you make yourself a pariah. You offend people. You burn bridges, and not only do you burn bridges of that person that you're insulting, but everything leading to them. It's one thing if we're in on it. It's one thing if it's an understanding, like some WWE shit. If it's like, it's scripted, we know we gonna beef, but we selling shit and we marketing each other. Okay, I get that part, but it becomes dangerous. It's dangerous when you playing with people and they not playing and they don't know to play, because I have heard that he's good for doing, behind the scenes cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? He'll say some shit on social media, but then offline he'll be like, bro, this social media, I ain't really, So I think that's where it could be dangerous, bro. But like I said on No Jumper, bro, to me, risking your life and risking your credibility and risking, just business over clicks and social media, that's crazy to me. Because if we all come from the hood and we come from those environments, and if I've been able to navigate not going to prison, taking penitentiary chances, and surviving in the streets and just surviving as a black man in this country, I'm not finna get to this age and be, crashing out and behind some trying to go viral and some clicks and some bullshit. Like, that's the shit that don't. Now, again, like I said, if it's done under the context of an understanding, like, okay, we're going to build this, which I think is what they're doing in Clubhouse. Sometime I be thinking some of these influencers, they all in on this shit, and we just don't know the storyline. We just ain't privy to it, where everybody's like, look, man, we going to keep this controversy going. We going to get these numbers up. We going to get to the money. Because at the same time, even though it's messy and to some degree, it's degrading, and I talked about this on my podcast with Young Mouth. We're kind of the only culture that uses social media to really fuck each other over and down each other. You know what I'm saying? But there is a business model, unfortunately, because people like the bullshit, just like reality shows. If you look at what Lemuel was able to do with Zeus. Zeus got a valuation of like $100 million, and it's nothing but mess on there. Nothing but mess. But the public share in that responsibility, because that's what y'all like. That's what they like. Right. I just made a comment today where everybody is sharing the thing about T.I., about him admitting to snitching on his dead partner, right?
Right.
But that's cool, right? But my thing is, where's the balance? Because T.I. is, as we know, a loquacious, articulate motherfucker. And he has said some enlightening things that could help the culture, but y'all don't report on that or give that the same light. But the minute he say some dumb shit, everybody, but so the public sharing that, you know, so sometimes it's the platforms, but it's the public too. They like.
I'm so glad that you said that too, because even with the 21 Savage, when I went, you know, viral for one of them, I actually two, but with the Nas Irrelevant, in which I'm kind of glad that we get to talk about this, because they only pick and choose what to do with the shit. Like, even with Clubhouse, like, some of the shit is scripted, some of the shit is not scripted. And the part that we was in, it was basically not scripted. Everybody's there to have fun, talk to people. Hell, 21 Savage just comes out of nowhere and just like, he likes the fucking, you know, the house that I'm in. And shout out to Trap and ADHD. Like, that time that he wasn't even trying to say Nas was irrelevant. He just said a word. He just said the word like relevant.
Same thing, bro.
And the next thing you know, they took that. They took none of the dope shit that he was talking about. The whole time we would talk. They took that bullshit, but it ended out in his favor too, because it happened good and a bad, because he did a song with Nas, which was a dope song, you know what I mean? One mic, one gun. And I'm just like, see, they pick and choose.
I said the same thing, bro. I said the same exact thing. If you listen to, you know, that's one thing I learned in this media space. For one, you know, Malcolm X said it. He who controls images controls people's minds, right?
Right.
And the media is so powerful. Me being in this media space, I have learned, bro, that most people are sheep, and most people are sheep. Like, I can take a piece of content and put up a short, right? And a short is a minute. And say that the whole premise of what we were talking about was 3 minutes, or say 2 minutes. Say 2 minutes. I take a minute out of it. I cut this word, cut that word. It changes the whole context. And not only have I changed the context, but the caption, I've already programmed what I want you to think watching this when I put the caption on there. So even I know how easy it is. So the thing about it is, people have to, listen, when you're consuming this content, you got to keep your thinking cap on, and then you have to understand entertainment. Because when he said that, right, I heard something completely, totally different. Again, 21 is intelligent, but it's not like
smart as hell.
He's smart. It's not, but he used kind of the wrong word, but you knew what he was trying to say.
Yeah, he knew what he was trying to say, right.
But what happened was they took out what he said before that statement and took out what he said after the statement.
They just said, Nas isn't a resume. That's it.
So one thing that I say, shout out to Nas and his team for being mature enough to see through the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And media outlets have to be more responsible and operate with integrity. Again, I'm not saying that we have to be all staunch, because listen, I can be a cheerleader for foolishness too. I like a little bit of bullshit, you know, but not to the point of where it bleeds over to the streets, or to where you're becoming hateful and you're really trying to hurt somebody's credibility, and you're really trying to start some shit. That's where it becomes a problem. You know what I mean?
Because I'm kind of glad you said that, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a favorite rap beef?
A favorite rap beef? Yeah, a few of them. I loved Ice Cube against NWA.
No best
I loved MC8 and DJ Quick.
Oh my God.
Shit, I'm trying to think. Them probably the top two that stick out of my head. I liked when MC Pooh and Spice One was going at each other too, and Too Short. All the little bullshit.
Speaking of Spice One and DJ Quick, because I just heard on IG that I guess he wants the same respect as Dr. Dre. He just said that, and it's crazy that you was on I think a compilation album with Spice One, like Ready for War. Yeah. Which I was listening to Spice One because we were supposed to have him on the show, and I'm fanned out because one of my things went almost viral with the Rev X shit. Yeah. And I was over here listening, and then next thing I look, it says Court Dog Ready for War. I'm like, shit, and I hear you yelling. I'm like, how dope was it, fucking with Spice? Because Spice be, hollering at you, man. Like I be seeing always showing love.
Yeah. Spice is one of my favorite. He's my top 5. He's my favorite rapper of all time. One of them.
Spice.
Yeah, Spice. Yeah, that was cool, man. Again, man, like I tell the haters, I was somebody before social media. I can't remember how I came across that. I politicked a lot in the 90s and the early 2000s. Yeah. I moved around and traveled, and I had a lot of connects in California for different reasons. And I came across Spice One. We hooked up. He put me on that. It was called the Player Rich Project. That was like 2000 or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Spice One.
Holdin Court Podcast, which you got a song with, suited for a Q that's, on the theme music. The podcast, man. Which one you want on your, a bucket list? You know what I mean? Like, what type of bucket list do you want? You know what I mean? Like, who you want to check off to be on the next, series?
I'll be honest with you, bro. I started out blessed. You know what I'm saying? 99% of the people that I've had already, I've had Ice-T, Jay Prince, Michael Jai White, Busy Bone, you name it. Of course, Master P, Silk the Shocker. 99% of the people that I had on already, I have a personal relationship with. I've been in LA and Hollywood for 20 years. So this is what I always try to tell people, especially the youngsters, man, when you kind of operate with integrity and, you keep your reputation and your name solid and people will show up for you, but my bucket list. Oh, and having Jay Prince on the show too. See, I started out with most of my bucket list, which was Jay Prince and Ice-T. But again, I had connects with these people before that. So now, to be honest with you, I would love to have Mike Tyson, Magic Johnson, and I would say probably Barack Obama and Will Smith, which I'm working on. Which Will Smith I'm working on. Yeah,
that's good. Any new artists that you want to put on your bucket list too, or any big artists that you want to put on the show?
You know what? I'm open, bro. I'm open. I love compelling stories. You know what I mean? I just love the people that highlight and document their journey. I love to, when people can be transparent. Again, I really love what I do, bro. And it's funny because Master P calls me the hood Oprah, right? Because if you think about it, it's not many platforms like mine that where I can have someone like a Chico Brown come on and who was Ricky Ross's Freeway Ricky Ross's co-defendant, right? We could talk dope prices, we could talk street shit, we could talk hustle shit, but then also talk about the good things he's doing in the community now. We could talk about his evolution. Then I can have someone like a Crip Mac come on and try to give him some game. He and ha and laugh with him and bullshit with him, but then also try to give him some real life knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But then, have someone like a legendary Ice-T, a Jay Prince, but have someone like a Mob James come on where it's therapeutic. Mob James came on and shed real tears. I gave him real encouragement, which was not popular to do. So that's the thing, man. When you own your shit and you operate with integrity and you a leader. See, I don't get it. I don't get into all of that, salacious gossip and all of that shit. Like I deal with the human experience. You know what I'm saying? So with Mob James, this is a real street nigga. This is a real OG Pyru, regardless of whatever the controversy is in terms of his street reputation or whatever. But that's still a human being that came on and felt comfortable enough to be transparent and vulnerable, where he shed real tears. Watts homie Quan, he from LA, from Watts, he came on, shed real tears. You know what I'm saying? So I just really enjoy being able to document the culture. And the most gratifying thing, to be honest with you, bro, I travel all over the country, man. And people come up to me and they say, bro, I love how you represent the culture. I love how you represent the culture, man. You know, keep doing what you're doing. So, you know, really that's what it is, man. I think just, you know, my goal is to operate with integrity. But to answer your question, I would love to have Kevin Gates on. I'm a big Kevin Gates fan. Man, I'm open to any artist that just has a great story. You know what I mean? Anybody that's at the top of their game in their respective fields, you know. So yeah, I'm open, bro.
You seen our rap?
I can see Sleazy World on there too.
Oh yeah, I tried to get him on. We had a scheduling conflict because I was trying to get him on a few months ago when he was in LA, but he had some other commitments or whatever. But of course, like anybody, this is the thing, man. Anybody from Kansas City, you know. Now this is the hard part. This is the hard part that I try to explain to him, right?
I'm glad we're talking about this too.
They have to do their work to get to a certain level. You know what I mean? Like people have to understand that when you, depending on what your platform is, like you have some like Famous Animal, right? Which is a influencer. His podcast, his platform is built on breaking unknown acts. It's built on breaking people that are trying to come up. Okay, that's his brand. That's not my brand. My brand and my platform is really people that are already established. You know what I'm saying? So trying to convey that sometime, especially to the home team, I'm like, look, man, you know, I can't even find you. You know what I mean? When I anybody who hit me, because I ain't gonna say that I'm up on what everybody's doing. Somebody
me either, because I understand that, because me either, because I'll be like, okay, who's new out, and nobody answers, and then whenever you do something big, then they be like, hey, check out this new guy. I'm like, well, this ain't the type of platform we do, because I tell them too, this is a you know, not that type of platform that we just put every artist on the show.
The show's the show's called I Only Touch Greatness. It's not called I Only Touch Mediocre.
Yeah, and you know
it's not even mediocre. It's just like
I don't even want
they're not fully established yet. You know,
that's what I was about to say. I don't even want to call them mediocre, but they still have their work to do, right? Yeah. Listen, it goes for everybody, even myself. Like just because I had a little notoriety doesn't mean that I could just, I'm Big Court, let's go to No Jumper.
And put everybody on.
It took a year for me to get to the point to where I was in a position to where I could go to No Jumper, but I had to put in the work, right?
And you had the buzz too. You had the buzz that got him on. I
had to create the buzz. So what people don't understand, and I'm specifically talking to Kansas City mainly, like just because you're doing something doesn't mean that you're really doing it. Like it's a million of you. Because if you send me something, like niggas will say, hey bro, I need to come on the podcast, bro. My story crazy, man. I'm doing this. So I'll go, okay, if I got a minute, I'll go try to look them up. I'll go try to see what they got going on. It's like, you ain't doing shit. So who's going to care?
And they don't even want to share either.
So,
and they don't even want to share either, because even if you did do something for them, they're not even going to share it. They ain't going to promote it. They ain't going to try to do nothing behind it, but they want to be in your position. And even with this viral shit, like with the 21 Savage shit, like I was just like, that's cool. That now everybody's like, oh well, you know what I mean? Now you did it. I'm like, no, not really. I'm really getting backlash because motherfuckers just think now when I go on Clubhouse, you the nigga who's trying to go viral. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm the reason that it went viral. So it's just like, because I said some simple shit of fucking Lil Uzi, but it wasn't bad or good or nothing, no clickbait or nothing. It's just a guess, you know what I mean? And it fucking went viral. But the thing is, like, that's why I try to tell them about, you know, the Popular Demand show that I do on IG Live. I'm like, it's kind of good to do stuff like that, you know, but when you reach out to them, they still don't want to do it. Like I tell my friend all the time, I'm like, yeah, I try to do that. And every time I try to do it, they don't ever want to say nothing until they see me doing something on the podcast. Then they want to be like, I want to be on this podcast. Can't be on a lot of podcasts. You gotta make another
the same
podcast.
Thing to the Vancouver market. We have a bunch of artists in Vancouver that want to be on the podcast. They haven't established themselves enough for me to dip into that market. I just don't do any Vancouver guys, and someone else already does that. So it's like I don't need to do that. I don't want the Vancouver market.
Hey, I've extended myself to, primarily the Kansas City, to the artists that or to any, not just artists, but anybody again that's at the top of the game that's really putting in the work. And so far, again, I had Tech Nine on the show. But it's so funny. This is the crazy thing. So Tech Nine is the biggest artist out of Kansas City, the biggest, one of the biggest brands out of Kansas City. Right. I extended it to him and probably several others that you could consider. Well, let me not say not consider, but are under him, in terms of popularity and success. Yeah. Why is it? That's funny how the most successful person showed up. You know what I mean? Because I have people that aren't, you know what I'm saying, that are still, they doing their thing, but they trying to come up, and they doing their thing. Yeah, go figure. They, and I've extended because people will be like, "Why you ain't had so and so?" Like even with Rich the Factor, that's my bro. People ask me all the time, "When you gonna have Rich the Factor?" I'm Rich the Factor, I've extended the invitation. It's on him now. Same here. I've extended to it. That's on him. Even some of the artists that of course I've extended it to Young Cat, and I understand that I'm in LA. And shout out to Young Cat. Yeah, so but he can still do Zoom though. That's the thing. He can do Zoom. And we try to get Young Cat here. He's like, oh yeah, cool. Him and Marlon Young. We was like, okay, cool. And they never, replied back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you got to take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, even with T-Rail, I was just like this, which I love T-Rail to death, but I'm just like, damn, you seeing this shit, but then you ain't trying to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this is the thing, what's holding us back. I think it's a lot of shit holding us back that we don't want to risk or do no relentless type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to, we get a little comfortable of the position that we at, that we be like, oh yeah, we could just do shows because I don't gotta do now. I got my money and I can do this with this type of artist. You know what I mean? With these like celebrities whenever they come in, or the type of fucking rapper who's popping, and they be like, oh well, I can do that. But at the end of the day, you want to be the headliner. You just don't want to be the one. You know what I'm saying? Open up for shows. Which was what happened. I feel like what happened with that concert, because now they've seen, like, they was like, oh, we got treated poorly. But it's just like, okay, you saying you're getting treated poorly, but y'all still showed up. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, like, it's a big platform, but at the end of the day, sometimes some platforms and some opportunities is not for the good. You know what I mean? That's why I just don't understand. Like, we just gotta just help each other no matter what it is. You know what I mean? And if we see these motherfuckers who giving us that fucked up platform, cut these niggas out. But these niggas don't cut them out. I think too. I think too, as it pertains to Kansas City and probably most, Midwestern cities, Kansas City has to remember that. I tell people all the time, it's a whole big old world outside of Kansas City, and social media, is the door to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the days of having to rely on local support are over. Social media circumvented that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you fuck with those who fuck with you. When I look at my analytics, between all of my social medias, I think I probably have maybe 200,000 or so people that subscribe and follow, just between all my social medias. But when I look at my analytics, Kansas City is like way down there. Most of my support does not come from Kansas City now. No, mine's either. Granted, I've been living in Los Angeles 20 years. You know what I mean? So this is home. But I stopped looking for local support 25 years ago. I learned that in the 90s. I said, okay, I believe you rock with who rock with you, and usually the Bible says a prophet is not respected in his home. So, we come from cities where the outside people are going to fuck with you first. And then once they see everybody else, like, most of the people that share my stuff on social media are not from Kansas City. You know, if you think about and I just want to point this out, and I'm not saying this is not anything disparaging, but when you think about the Kansas City People's Choice Awards, right? And I'm more speaking to, I'm not talking about the award ceremony. Shout out to Ray.
Right. Shout out to him. Right.
So I'm talking about the mentality of the people, because when they did the best podcast, right? Now, mind you, I'm a Los Angeles nigga at this point, right? But when I saw the podcast list, I was just curious. I was like, okay, let me go.
I didn't see nobody. I thought it would be at least you. You know, I don't even care about myself. That's all.
Listen, bro, fuck me. The fact that Funny Marco wasn't on there. So
Funny Marco,
before he even get to me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, damn. So okay, whatever. But then when I went and seen the podcast that was on there, shout out to them, because everybody has to start. Everybody has to build.
Everybody has to start. Right.
So, but Kansas City, I'm kind of like, they're in a bubble because we're not there, and we don't cater to Kansas City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me and Marco are still from Kansas City, even though we're not there. So I have a decent sized platform. He has a huge platform. Even you, even you doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, so I'm speaking to the mentality that they don't see, for the majority, they don't see outside of the bubble. You know what I'm saying? And that confines them. You know what I mean?
It confines their energy. They always got a local mentality, like, because even for Missouri, period. This is just a Missouri thing. This is
what I'll be trying to tell the artists, bro. I'm sorry not to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
Like, when artists are always in Kansas City, they post their shit and they like get mad because people don't share it. I'm like, bro, we're in the day and age of blogs. Like, spend your money with the blogs. Go to Say Cheese. Go to, Famous Animal. Go to, Hollywood Unlocked. Go to these platforms, dog, and put it in front of the world. You're and then you got to understand the tech part of it. Like, if you got 20,000 motherfuckers on Facebook that follow you or your friends, you only getting like 3% engagement. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So posting your shit every day, now you just spamming motherfuckers. Like, they're not even seeing it. So when you get mad at people not posting your shit, usually it's because they're not even seeing the shit, because of the algorithm. So you got to work that shit. Put that shit in front of the world instead of just thinking, oh, the city don't fuck with me, So I just want to just say that,
But you know what's so crazy? I'm glad you said that, because that's how I started getting the buzz. You see, a lot of people don't know I've already been viral because of the TikTok shit. And my shit got took it down. My shit got taken down, and some of the people fucking benefited off of it, and some of the people copied off of it. But a lot of things that I did, but still, I still get a little buzz because it's still on my shit. You know what I mean? And I can have that. But the thing is, what people is like, even with the social media shit, like, you can't just post one thing and thinking that it's gonna. You got to keep creating. You got to keep creating. Man, you can't just stop. You know what I mean? It's like anything.
You got to throw shit against the wall, see what stick. It's a continuous. That's what I tell people. I tell people
learn from it.
Consistency is better than perfection. Everyone is not going to be a home run. Everything is not going to be a home run. But when you get that one, you get that one. You know what I'm saying?
Roll with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people lose that momentum too. They lose that momentum, and whenever they see something, like, you know what I'm saying, they get a like, or they get something that they feel like is good to them, they lose that momentum of not trying to create nothing else. It's too much, you know what I mean, going on with that. And a lot of things, even with the city, like, a lot of people want to stay in the city, but at the end of the day, it's small towns too. Like Tech said, in order to be the hip hop president, you got to go out there and politic. He's been saying that.
Thank you, bro. That's what I be telling motherfuckers. So, like, you're in Kansas City. You based in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are the only, in Kansas City. I don't want to deduce you to Kansas City influencer, but for the sake of the conversation, you're the only influencer, blogger, content creator that I know of. I'm gonna say that I have seen that participates in Clubhouse. Nobody else does Clubhouse.
Nobody. And the craziest thing is they talk about everything. And I'm just like, I'm in the position like these people talk about music. They want to chop it up. They want to talk to you. It's motherfuckers who went diamond. Shout out to my boy, Mano. He went diamond. He did shit with fucking The Weeknd, talking and trying to be like, you know what? Let's build a platform for you, and I'll do a beat with you. But at the end of the day, he's not just gonna do a beat with you. He's gonna weave you out at the end of the day. But the thing is, though, if you that dope, he's gonna do something with you. A lot of these rappers gonna do something, and that's the thing. Like, you got to get out there and look at it, man. And they don't want to look at it. And like what's
most important too, what I try to tell artists or just any creator, man. You know, sometimes it ain't even about the motion that you have. Sometimes it's your packaging. You know, like you got a presentation is everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when a motherfucker come to me, like I ain't tripping on music. You know, I'm not doing music these days, but people still send me music, right? Instead of sending me a EPK or a comprehensive, you know, thing that I can see what your media reach is. I can see the vision. Make me see the vision. You know what I'm saying? So show me what kind of engagement you get. Show me what your numbers are. Show me how consistent you are with what you're doing. Motherfucker would send me a link to a video that's 3 years old with 70 views and say, "I'm next, big dog."
I know. I get that. I see that shit, and I get that all the time. And I'll be like, "Why are you gonna give somebody? At least if you want to make it look good, make it look good. You gotta have a good presentation." And a lot of these presentations is dull too.
I mean, you if you ain't got no motion, right? If you like, this is the thing about it. Even for myself, when I first started Holdin Court Podcast, I to get people to show up. Like, I understood, like, even my presentation to them. I had my pitch deck done. I hadn't even shot, but I had the pitch deck done. So then when I reached out to him, it's like, "Hey, bro, I got this podcast. Let me email you over what I'm doing." Right. I was shooting on a sound stage. So when people came, they was like, "Oh shit, damn, y'all really got some movie shit going on." Right. And so that's what made them feel comfortable. And then I would take that and I would have my BTS guy capture all that. Then I would put that out there. So then other people would be like, "Oh shit, they really got their shit." Use presentation, you know? So some of this shit is just really, you know, again, you got to take serious what you're doing, you know, educate yourself to what you're doing. Cause a lot of these niggas, man, they just think it's a quick hustle. Everything is just, they believe the marketing and the hype of what they see, the finished product, but they not understanding the work and the you know, the planning and the strategizing that goes on behind that shit, you know. And they make excuses because, you know, you got some of them little local guys, they'll make excuses even for me. Instead of learning from me or trying to align themselves with me, they would either hate on me or they would try to besmirch and undermine what I'm doing by making excuses, saying, "Oh, well, he has Hollywood connects. Oh, he's tied in. He's this, that, and the other." Yeah. None of that matters if I can't execute. You know what I'm saying?
And also you can't, even if you did have celebrities, at the end of the day, you can't just be like, "Hey man, this is my guy," you know, some random dude, you know what I'm saying? This is my guy, put him on, and they come find out he done fucked it all up. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't think like that either.
Because at the end of the day too, man, like with this content shit, you have to be consistent, and at least you have to have some level of skill set. You know what I mean? Like, that's where a lot of niggas get fucked up at. They think that it's just going viral and talking shit. Like, you have to actually create something at the end of the day. So when you go viral, right? Viral is a moment, right?
Yeah, just a moment, right?
Maybe 2 or 3 times, right? But at the end of the day, you know, you have to deliver on something. You know, when that moment leaves, what is there? You know, would you take the next viral moment or are you consistently building? You know what I'm saying? And you have a skill set. So I tell these motherfuckers, man, them local blogger dudes, I'm like, man, sitting around talking about me all day is not going to do it. Like, at some point, you're going to have to deliver something. You're going to have to produce something viable that people want to see and fuck with.
Right. So I'm so glad that we talking about now. We get to talk about a little bit now with Master P, man. Like, come over here, man, and seeing you doing your thing with Master P. And even though I got this, I had to put this on here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but
I got the hookup too.
I heard up and had to buy it because, Big Cookie, you know what I mean? Like, how is it like just getting gems and sitting there and just, just talking with people? Because I've always been the type of person, like, I remember my white homeboy was the reason why I started listening to No Limit, Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got another white friend?
Yeah, my homeboy Josh. He's the one that got me on it because he was like, "Man, you ain't heard this shit." And I was young, right? And I was young as hell. And then my brother played it again. I was like, "Oh, I know this song." And coming now, knowing somebody that fucks with Master P and like how much gems a lot of people, because I think people forget how important this guy is. Because I'll be talking to people on Clubhouse and they be so damn stupid. They was talking about, oh, well, Jay-Z's the reason why we get business. Oh, no, it ain't. It's Master P. Like, Master P put a lot of things. And R.P. Tobin, too. Like, Tobin Costin, man. And, how was it working with Tobin and Master P? And, like, just any gem with Master P, bro.
Yeah, man, rest in peace to the homie Tobin Costin. Tobin was instrumental in my arrival at No Limit in 1995. He was vice president of No Limit. So, the crazy thing is I would talk to Tobin a lot when I first came to No Limit. And I remember the whole split with him and P. I remember all of that, right? And then, Tobin helped me with some of my CCG projects in the 90s as well.
Right.
So, and he put me on Players and Hustlers, me and Cisco. Tobin was articulate, very educated. Tobin was a Army kid. He actually was from Germany. A lot of people don't know that. But he spoke German as well. Great business dude. Always. He just recently put me up on some on a overseas play with my back catalog and didn't ask me for a dime. So Tobin was always a good solid dude. With me. So rest in peace to Tobin. As far as P, me and P, man, P is, man, when I tell you that's like my brother, that's literally like my brother, bro. Me and P have fought. Right. Me and P fight. Me and P argue. Me and P are just like siblings. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You're not gonna talk about me to him and vice versa. And I never take it for granted. But in that, I never take the relationship that I have with Master P for granted. I understand, and I always recognize he's one of the biggest music moguls of our generation. So I understand his value very much so to the culture and his contribution to the culture. And again, the biggest thing that I learned from P, to be very honest with you, is consistency and discipline and really believing in what you're doing. The funny thing about it, as going back to Kansas City, when I would go live and I would just share knowledge and wisdom and game, a lot of people don't understand some of that stuff was coming off of conversations that me and P had. You got to understand, this is someone who I talk to damn near every day, So, we're throwing around ideas and we're bouncing stuff, off of each other. But at the end of the day, consistency and discipline, and you have to believe in what it is you're doing, and nothing comes easy, man. Like, one thing I learned about people, especially some artists, people think they want success. They think they want that shit until the real work starts, and they have to be pulled out of their comfort zones. The work is not just doing the work. The work is actually being able to make the necessary changes as well. Which is difficult, very difficult for people. So that's really what I learned from P, bro. Because I try to share that same message with people, because a lot of times people want you to tell them specifics, right? I may not know. The one thing about successful people, right? It's a mentality and it's a perspective. Right. I may not be able to tell you just every little, okay, go do this, then go do that, then make a right, then make a left, do this and do that. Right. But I can tell you how you need to be thinking and the attitude that you need. Yeah. That's the secret. That is the secret, because whatever you need to know and whatever the tricks are in your lane, you're going to find them. You're going to find them and you're going to apply them because you're in a position to because knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge. So that's what I learned from P, bro. And another thing is utter confidence. Like the nigga P, regardless, like with P, he don't know everything, right? But he sees the end goal. So as long as you can see the end goal and you're willing to put in the work, then that's going to translate to a belief. And that belief is going to translate into discipline and consistency, you know, and at some point you will succeed. So that's really the biggest lesson, just in a nutshell.
Right. I'm glad you said that, because even with talking to you and Tobin and all, like even Mercedes and shit, like that's the thing about y'all, right? And I can tell like that coming out from P and Murder and, you know, wherever, you know what I'm saying, everybody talk to. Like, I see why like y'all have what y'all have, and y'all motivate a lot of people. Like every time I see you go live, it motivates me. Like oh shit, see, he's over there with Crip Man. I'm about to go ahead and try to give me some Crip Man money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of other like, yo, I want to, you know what I'm saying? Every time I listen to a Master P song or Silk the Shocker song or any type of song, like, you know what I'm saying? Or any type of things or see any type of interviews, it made me motivate. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all was always about. Like, you always help people and motivate a lot of people. Like, a lot of people don't even understand. Like, we take that to heart. I mean, even Nipsey even tell you, like, shit, no limit. Like Master P, he would say that. You know what I mean? Like,
and you know what? And to some people, especially if they don't know me, I know I can come off sometime a little much, you know, but what it is, you know, the thing about the relationship with me and P and just our whole circle is that we push each other. We push each other. You know what I'm saying? So you want someone that's we almost like, we're supportive. It's in love. You know, we push you with love, but at the same time, we almost like drill sergeants. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Bro, you got to get that done. You know what I mean? You bullshit. You don't want nothing in life. You need to get it done. Fuck what's going on in your life. So we push each other. And sometimes people can't take that. They get tripped up on the delivery opposed to receiving the message. You know what I'm saying? Because I speak very concise and very direct. So sometimes it can be off-putting to people, because I've had people where 90% of people say they motivated when I say stuff. Sometimes people take it as being condescending or something like that, and they don't understand. It's like, no, I'm actually pushing you. But what people don't understand is a lot of times when I'm sharing that motivation, I'm talking to myself too. You know,
me too. That's how I do too.
Self-motivated. Like, I'm human too. So I have to, you know, navigate self-doubt, procrastination. I'm human. I'm not a fucking superhero. So, you know, so if I'm being like, yeah, bro, y'all got to quit bullshit. Like, y'all got to make the necessary changes. Y'all got to do this. I'm talking to me too. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, that's I always just try to, you know, that's my whole mission. Because this is one thing, bro. Yeah. You know, as you get older, man, you know, I've been blessed enough to you know, kind of indulge in all the accoutrements that come with success, money, cars. You know, I've lived in some of the most beautiful homes. I've traveled. You know, all of that shit is cool, right? But at the end of the day, bro, you know, people don't remember what kind of car you had, the money. People remember how you made them feel. So that's really leaving a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I'm gone, fuck all the material. That shit don't matter, you know, but what type of mark did I leave on the world? You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just one person that I inspired or I motivated, you know, which you know, that's where my fulfillment comes in. You know, it ain't about no fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
No, it never was. Never was. And I wanted to say, being VP of Digital Soap Network and launching Rap TV. What's up with that, man? Like, hey, I want to hear, man. Like, shit, I didn't even know that.
Hey, so I'm super excited about that. So if people don't know, I'm vice president of Digital Soapbox Network, which houses Gangsta Chronicles, which is the mothership of Gangsta Chronicles, which is one of the biggest podcasts through Black Effect, iHeart.
Right.
So shout out to the homie Steel. Big Steel, you know, he's seen something in me in terms of just my business acumen and how I carry myself and execute, on top of being a creator, being a business guy, and being able to, you know, I built businesses outside of entertainment as well. And so he brought me aboard, man, you know, for our new baby, which is called Rap TV, Rap Television, bro. And we launched, actually, we're in beta this month, but we launched this month, but we'll be live for sure, top of January 2023. And what it is, it's an app and it's a linear streaming network. So literally, we're programming this network. We're programming this linear streaming service like a TV network. So we have, and we're creator friendly too. We're content creator friendly, where we all about inclusion. You know, we all about, you know, having content creators come in, and we're welcoming them with their content. But we have our own, you know, flagship content as well. And so basically, if you take the motto of MTV, because we're a music channel as well. So we playing all old school hip hop videos, breaking new artists, all the hot shit. We got horror content. Of course, we got podcasts. We got Holdin Court. We got Gangster Chronicles. We got Dub C and CJ Mack. We got Crooked Eye and his podcast. We got Watts Homie Quan. So we've acquired some of the top content creators in the country to be a part of this as well. So it's going to be the next big thing, you know, in terms of, and again, this is ownership. You know what I mean? This is ownership. And we got big money behind us. Matter of fact, we're going to the Breakfast Club in January to you know, officially announce the launch of it. So
that's hard.
And so now we talking big business. You know, we talking, like I said earlier, Lemuel, shout out to Lemuel with Zeus Network. You know, he got a valuation, and this was last year. It might have been $200 million. So we're doing what he has done time 10. So now you're talking about opportunities, you know, being presented to the culture, and also to you know, author our own narrative with content. And I'm not saying we're gonna have our level of bullshit on Rap TV as well, you know what I mean? But I'm all about balance. So yeah, we'll have some ratchet shit, but then we'll also have some lifestyle shit. We'll have some music shit. We'll have some social commentary. We'll have comedy. We got all of that. So it's a full-fledged network, Rap TV, launching January. Well, this month, but officially January.
Right. That's even dope, man. For real. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I've been trying to get a question in for like half an hour here.
Hey, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to, do you have a dream, like, venue that you wish to perform in one day?
You talking about as far as the podcasting?
Well, both. Because you were rapping at one point.
Oh no, I retired from being a rapper years ago.
He needs to come back.
But to your point though, me and Steele were just talking about this, because if you see the emergence of what shout out to $1 million worth of game, shout out to Nori and Drink Champs. They are now doing live tours where they're doing their podcasts in venues. So that is definitely something that I aspire to do. So we were just talking about that, me and Steele and some of our business partners. So hopefully in 2023, you will see a tour of Gangster Chronicles and Holdin Court Podcast, similar to what we see in Gilly and them doing.
I'm pretty sure the big Steele his son plays football. Yeah, and he's a really good football player. And I've been trying to NFL. Yeah, and I've been trying to interview his kid for a while. He's on my Facebook actually. So I've been trying. So I have him on Facebook because I tried to do a song with him maybe 15 years ago. So I've been trying to
do a song with Steele.
Yeah, like 15 years ago, and that's how I got onto my Facebook.
Oh wow! Okay,
I might even did a song with him 15 years ago. Yeah, but then now I see that his kid's a football stud, and I've been trying to get his kid on.
Yeah, because we do prospects too.
Yeah,
we do.
I'll try to connect those dots then, because I talk to Steele every day, like literally every day, all day.
Oh, that's dope.
I've messaged him actually about it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, just saying like I'd love to get your kid on.
Okay. I'll try to connect that.
And then you were on stage during the Busy Bone Versus.
I
had to come with another
anniversary too. It had an anniversary 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, man. Shout out to the homie Busy Bone, man. I've known Busy for, over 20 years. And of course, I've done songs with Busy too. Me and Busy actually had a group. A lot of people don't know this, right? Me and Busy actually had a group that we were putting together with me, him, and Cuckoo Cow and a couple other people called Mob Life.
No shit.
2000. Yeah. And it was spearheaded by Rick Robinson, Double R, who just recently passed away.
Damn.
But yeah, and then there was talk way back in 2000 where it was Double R was trying to make it happen. When Flesh was locked up, Rick Ross was really pushing for me to be a stand-in and be a fifth member of Bone way back then.
That's how the honorary Bone member came in.
That's how the honorary Bone member thing came in. Yes.
Wow, because it's crazy. But we were huge Bone Thugs. I'm a huge Bone Thugs and 666 Mafia. And then once I seen you, because the crazy thing is when I saw that Versus, I say, that's Court. Yeah. And I had to record it and tag you, and the guy was like, "Oh my God, this is Court." And then next thing you know, on the other side is my homeboy's friend, because he fucks with 3-6 Glace and Leland Jones. He was on the side with Juicy J and DJ Paul. And I was almost about it because I talked to DJ Paul on Clubhouse with Compton Menace. And I almost was about to tell him, I was like, Leland, but I didn't say Leland. I said Glaze, but I was just like, that's crazy. Two people that I have on my Facebook page just on the damn stage.
You know what? Yeah. That was a great night, bro. And the funny thing about it was, if you can believe, I was Busy's only guest. I showed up with Busy. So I showed up with the man of the night to kick this shit off, right? So I went, this is the thing, right? I was supposed to be on stage, but you know what? I'm so used to that, right? Because I've been in and we was on tour.
Hell, you've been on growing up hip hop, bro.
but listen, the show, I wanted to enjoy the show. You can't enjoy a show from backstage and on the stage.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Yeah. So what I do, I say, well, man, I want to enjoy it because I'm a Bone fan and a 3-6 fan, and I fuck with Gangsta Boo, right? Gangsta Boo's the homegirl.
Yeah, Gangsta Boo. I've been fucking with Gangsta Boo. Yeah.
So I go up to the VIP where I'm up there with it's Fat Joe and Steve Rifkin. I'm up there with Afion Crockett, Sticky Fingers, me and Afion Crockett chopping it up, right? So we just vibing, and Afion Crockett had me laughing. Because he was like, nigga, I don't know none of these songs. I was like, what? He was like, nigga. He said, I know a little bit of Crossroads other than that, because he's from the East Coast. He was like, I don't know none of this shit. So we talking about that, right? And then the shit kicks off. I'm like, oh, damn. So I go get Busy. out the truck. He left, went and got in the truck. I went and got him. I said, B, you got to finish this shit, bro. I said, I'm going to walk you in. Now, Busy did have his own security. He had his own personal security guard, bodyguard, I should say. So we go in, and that's when you see me on stage. And if you notice, Busy was staying close to me, and I was staying close to him because I was kind of protecting Busy from Busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, right. Because Busy was a wild champ, man.
I'm going to tell you, it was awkward, though, because Flesh is my guy too. Flesh is my homeboy. It's kind of this thing where I fuck with 3-6, but I showed up with Bone, but I'm no limit. So I really am not in this. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm from a whole different, it's like if you got Crips and Bloods about to clash, right? GD. And it's like, this ain't even my fight, really. Fight. But so it was a little awkward, but it was a beautiful night. I loved how they came back together. You know what I mean? And that was the beautiful part. Yeah,
right. They did their shit because we had fucking Busy Bone on the podcast. We had Busy and we had Crazy on you, which which is one of my two favorite Bone members. Even though I like them all, but they always were, especially Busy. Because I used to always love Busy when he used to chop it up and all that, like on fucking No Surrender and all that shit. I always liked that shit, you know what I mean? So once I seen somebody for KC and all that, and I just like, yo, this is crazy. Like when even with DJ Paul, I was telling him about Private Posse, and he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, we listen to that shit hard. I was like, I understand why you fucking play Private
Posse?
Private Posse, off the fucking World Domination too. You know what I mean? He said we played the shit out of that motherfucker. I was like, I believe it because I do the same shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? And you know what? I was there, right? And this is the thing. People ask me like who won, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I'm a big, huge 3-6 Mafia fan, I was both fans, right?
Yeah.
But I think that 3-6 maybe edged out Bone just a little bit because I think Bone could have did a better song selection.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, 3-6 Mafia's that crunk energy, it translates to now. You see what I'm saying?
And they had a lot of artists coming out. And hell, even Juicy J fucking started scratching. I was like, ooh.
I seen that. And then I told DJ Paul, matter of fact, you can probably see it if you go back and watch it. When they brought out Terrence Howard, and after they did Terrence Howard, I went over to Paul. I said, boy, y'all some dirty motherfuckers. Y'all dirty as hell. He started laughing.
But see, you know what's so crazy too? And this would have fucked them up if they would have came out with motherfucking Phil Collins. If they had, because remember they got a song with Phil Collins.
Yeah,
home. They, you know what I'm saying? Like
they could have came out with Phil. Think about it. They could have came out with Phil Collins. They could have came out with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
They could have came out with some motherfuckers too. But I don't think that Bone. I don't think that they was
thinking like that.
They were thinking rap. They was like, okay, nigga. But 3-6 was thinking entertainment. They was like, no, we finna out entertain y'all.
So
that's what. But it was dope though. But don't listen. But I wanna let the record reflect because I was there. People was like, oh, the crowd was turned up. You just couldn't see that on camera, and they was turned up on Bone shit too. Make no mistake.
That's a fact.
They was turned up.
Yeah, right. I was just gonna say my favorite Busy Bone moment was when he was in Rap City, the basement back in the day with Big Tigga, he went off on that freestyle. If you remember that,
he killed it. But he killed it twice because he killed it that time when he had on the red beanie, and he killed it when he went on for when his solo album with Father and when he had the ponytail.
Oh, you talking about Heaven's movie? Because I think I had that. Is that his first one?
It might have been.
I thought the first one was it. No. Oh no, first movie.
What?
No, It was Heaven's movie, but he went on Rap City. It might have been either Heaven's movie or Alpha and Omega. It was
okay. Albums. I forget about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia you've collected over the years?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia that you've collected over the years? I mean, you got the chain. I know you got the No Limit chain, maybe a plaque or.
Yeah, I got all of that. I have all of that.
No, is there a favorite?
Not that I can think of. No, because you know what? I'm not really I don't know. Once I do something, I kind of, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but once I do it, I'm on to the next. So yeah.
You collect anything?
It just in general?
Yeah, in general.
Yeah, I collect. I'm an avid gun collector and old BMX bikes. I have in my garage. I have General or RL General. I have GT, Mongoose. I collect old BMX. From the 80s and the early 90s. I got a dyno, so I'm into collecting old bikes.
That's dope. That's dope. Remember those one bikes that had fucking? I used to think them motherfucker was the hardest shit ever. When they actually look like a damn bike, they look like a bike. The first bikes that look like a bike. You know what I'm talking about? I forgot what type of fucking.
Oh, the beach cruisers. You must be talking about the beach cruiser.
Was it a beach cruiser? But they looked just like the bikes. Like it was like a Kawasaki type of bike. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But it was for bicycling.
You talking about it looked like a motorcycle, but it was a bike?
Yeah.
Moped.
Like one of them fucking, what was them fucking?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? A bike?
I'm trying to think.
Electric. It's almost like an electric bike.
It's like a Kawasaki. You know what I'm saying? You know how the bikes is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's not a Kawasaki bike. But it was just like built like a bike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
But it was a pedal. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. I can't fucking think of it. But sooner or later, it'd be it. But yeah. But anyways, I got to say this though, man. New movies. What else? Court Dog got going on, man?
Well, I just did a movie in Atlanta. I completed a movie called Dating COVID. It's kind of like a dramedy, and a romantic dramedy. I play a toxic rich ex-husband. So I have another movie that I'm filming in January in North Carolina called Crossover 2. And then there's another movie that I'm doing in Chicago in January as well, where I play another, toxic ex. So for whatever reason, man, a lot of those roles come across my desk. Like, I guess I play the toxic ex good, I'm still trying to get on Snowfall. I had a couple auditions for Snowfall as well. So I'm really, it's a dope ass show. So I'm really focused on, man, like this new year, man. I'm really optimistic and excited because I have so many, great things that I'm doing, and I'm watering those seeds. Right. I landed a reputable agent in Atlanta, Gil Talent Agency. So, the podcast, y'all gonna see me. Of course, it's on Tubi TV. You're gonna see me on all the other major platforms, and especially Rap TV. And then in more movies, you know what I'm saying, and growing the podcast. And of course, I have other business, like, again, financial literacy is a big thing to me. And preaching that message about ownership and that and good credit. So, I just launched I'm Approved Credit, which is a automated, credit repair system that I developed with some of my business partners and some tech people. So, I'm excited about that. We just actually launched it maybe a couple weeks ago. So it's called I'mApprovedCredit.com. It's all automated. It's all encrypted. It's all safe because I believe that, just us as a culture, man, we got to be, we have to share information. And I think, having good credit is a good start with financial independence and ownership, and being able to take the good credit and leverage that to be able to build, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that as well.
Life's like Monopoly.
Yeah.
The more houses you can buy.
I was about to say, and plus we gotta, I got shout out, C-Dub. I'll be seeing C-Dub doing this thing, him and Rilla, because, if I don't say Rilla, you know what I mean? Rilla gonna cuss me out if I don't say it, you know what I mean? Which he's always been a huge supporter, but you know how it is, man. And I'm just glad that we got the chance to talk to you, bro, because this is one of my dreams, bro. Like, for real, like, I tell everybody like this, man, like, it wasn't for your music, Popper's music, Money G's music, fucking Tex music, Chris Calico's music, and anybody, Rich the Factor, all of them, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for y'all's music, like, I swear to God, I wouldn't be doing this shit. Like, for real. Like, a lot of us wouldn't be doing it. Like, we got amped because of y'all.
One thing, too, the guy that plays the cop on Snowfall, I'm good friends with him. So maybe I can put you into a thing. He's from Vancouver. He plays the cop, the
light-skinned black dude.
Yeah. So he's from Vancouver, and I know him personally. We had him on the podcast. So I could probably switch that in too. And I didn't really get a chance to ask many questions, but I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from you today, and it was good having you on.
Likewise. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I also want to let everybody know, I have this fuck around and find out, this is my merch line. So I got my whole, what I call my fuck line. So I have the fuck around and find out merch. I also have we need to unfuck our minds, and I have 0 fucks to give. So these are just slogans that people just like, man, you should copyright that, you should trademark that. So I have that as well. So I got a lot of good things, but also, Prince Allen, let me give you some props too, brother. I'm honored that I was able to inspire you, and thank you for continuing to support me, 20 plus years later, and
I'm still keep supporting you, bro. That's how I'm supporting everybody. That's how I feel like in KC. That's what I love. Like, this is what made me be me. Like, y'all the ingredients of me. I be telling people like all the time. Like,
and we need to reciprocate, and Kansas City should reciprocate and support you, because you're out here making strides, and you're creating great content. And you're touching different people all in the industry. And, you definitely need to be a part of the conversation, not just in Kansas City, but in terms of content creators. So
creators,
you keep doing what you're doing, brother. And however I can support you, man, you got that.
That's an honor. And I gotta get the shirt too. I gotta get that shirt, man, because I'm a type of person I promote. Look, I'm promoting what's his face is Dantes Yates, homeboy. Which, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing his shirt today. You know what I mean? He told me, he's like, man, let me get a shirt. You know what I'm saying? You can get a shirt. And I bought it.
That's the energy that we need, bro, because, I do the same thing, bro. I share people's shit, even with local. If you notice, I've worn C-Dub, the Youngblood shit on my platform, on other platforms, the Popper shit, Silly Folk Q. If you have something and I like it, I try to do my part to support you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to do that. Like I've name dropped rappers that I've never even met from Kansas City.
Before,
I've been on platforms and never even met them, but they from the town doing their thing. I name drop them. So
that's how I did. That's how I did with Money G and Etho, and that's how we started having a little relationship because of that. And I could have got on the Killer City movie. Because of the, you know what I'm saying?
We gotta normalize. We gotta get rid of that whole mentality of Jeffin. Jeffin was the worst word and the worst mentality that can happen in Kansas City. We gotta normalize just supporting a motherfucker. Like, you lose nothing by just speaking highly or telling somebody or sharing or supporting it, right? And if you don't like it, you lose nothing by not saying anything. You don't
that's facts.
Hate on them. You ain't got to talk bad on them. You ain't got to talk down on them. You know what I'm saying?
Down on them. No, it ain't about that. It's not.
You got to say shit if you just ain't fucking with it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to say nothing than to say something at all.
You ain't got to say shit, right?
Right. You ain't got to say nothing. For real.